Hello, welcome to Whittle Footy Talk, and today we have a great guest in midfield dynamo, Graham Branch. Welcome to the show, Graham.
Hello, mate. You okay?
How have you been doing?
Very good. Been keeping busy, coaching footy and just trying to stay out of trouble, yeah. So.
Trying to stay out of trouble. How have you found lockdown, mate?
Not too bad. I've actually found it quite easy. Obviously coaching kind of kids and speaking to a lot of parents. Everyone's found it really tough, but I've got a golf club in the house. And I've taken a load of dumbbells out to the concourse, West Kirby concourse, because my mate's the boss there. So I found it really easy. I mean, I mean, even though I've got a little 2-year-old who's probably kind of taken a lot of that time from kind of thinking about lockdown.
Yeah.
I haven't found it hard at all.
No, I'm the same. I stay busy, still allowed to do one-to-ones and stuff, and
get out, can't you? At least you can get out, can't you?
Yeah, you're just on that personal level with the kids there, still getting a little bit, but I haven't found it too bad. I've just stayed busy myself. I can't wait to get back to coaching.
It'd be good, mate. I mean, especially with the kids, because a lot of kids have found it really hard.
Yeah.
So hopefully, with a bit more routine for the little ones, then hopefully we can get back to a bit better normality, I think.
Do you find you've got a little bit more time to yourself? I sort of.
Yeah, my girlfriend works at Arrow Park, so that's been a little bit stressful. She's working really hard, but I've been looking after my little 2-year-old. So she goes to nursery Monday and Friday. So sometimes I'm just looking after her. She's a handful, So she's literally she is uncoachable. Trying to get her to use her left foot, but she won't use her left foot. Yeah, she goes that one, Daddy, and then she boots with her right. So she's taken a lot of my time, which is cool because I've managed to spend a lot of time with her at the precious ages. So, but I know I've kind of enjoyed it. In a weird way.
That's brilliant, Graham. So, Graham, well, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. How did you start in football?
Born in Liverpool, playing on the streets of Megbeth, Dingle, and you could play football all night. There was never any problems, and I came over to the Wirral when I was thinking about 5 or 6, because my mum and dad used to go to Hoylake Beach. And moved to Hoylake. Played in school, went to Pensby School for boys because it was split then between boys and girls. I think got into Wirral one year, which was a big thing then, And then started playing, got asked by, what's his name? John Hughes, was it Hughes? Forget his surname. John Ulls, I know it was John Ulls at Heswell in the West Cheshire. And played on a Saturday morning against men, I think it was 17. And then one day, Kenny McKenna, the Mac, spoke to Ray Mathias, who was at Tranmere, who was the reserve team, who I've got a lot of respect for, Ray.
I know Ray,
top man,
lad, yeah.
Really. And I just saw there was a rumour going around that Tranmere were looking at me, and Ray came down and pulled me after one of the games and said, "Do you fancy coming for a trial?" So obviously I said, yeah. I think I was 19 then. So you kind of jump at the chance, don't you? Because you think football's kind of passed you by, I guess, at 19, especially with the YTS it was then, wasn't it?
How much was the YTS then, Greg?
I don't know. Actually, it was about 35 quid. Yeah, I was going to say £30, but it was 30. So I remember going for like 5 games, and I did really well. And I wasn't knowing what to expect.
You wasn't phased?
No, not really. No, because it's. When I finally signed for Tranmere, then I let nerves get to me because I was playing in front of bigger crowds. So I did struggle with that side for a good couple of years, to be fair, but then I didn't. And then I got offered. I remember being asked to go down with my dad at Valley Road.
Yeah, Tranmere used to train.
By Park, was it Park Foods?
Yeah.
Where Johnson used to own, didn't he, the chairman?
Yeah, and Bidston
Steel.
Yeah.
So I went down to his little office right down the end of the corridor. He had a little office there, and he offered me a contract. And I'm just remember because my dad wasn't the most emotional person in the world, tough scouser, my dad, and never let any emotion show. And he gave me a hug, my dad gave me a hug, like a massive thing. So I fulfilled the dream.
Yeah.
Because it's all I ever wanted to do was be a footballer.
Was that a pro contract? Yeah.
Pro contract, yeah.
Yeah.
So
then you're a professional footballer.
Yeah.
It's quite a quick turnaround now, isn't it?
Yeah, it happened in like a week.
Yeah.
The trial wasn't that long. I think I had probably a couple of weeks. Trial that happened, 3 or 4 games, if that. And I just got offered a pro. So it was a big change.
What was it like going into Tranmere, at the first time, going into the training sessions and stuff like that?
It was good because it was certainly a change of kind of environment because I was training every day. I picked up quite a lot of injuries, remember, because my body wasn't used to training every day. And it was quite hard training as well. But it was just kind of get used to, you know, the change and getting the train over. I remember getting the train over to Birkenhead North, walking up to the Valley Road, and it was just mad. It was just you're walking on a bubble.
Yeah.
Because you know that's all I ever wants to be. You know, people go, oh, you know, you sort out your schooling. You got to fall back on your schooling because no one makes it as professional because it's so hard. And you know, being in that environment now, as you know, with coaching the kids, it is a very hard. You always tell the kids, make sure you look after your schooling. But I was just walking on cloud nine for like months and months because I'd finally fulfilled kind of my dream.
Who were the kind of players you were playing with then?
Jed Brannan, Ainsley, you know, some of the gobby scousers that were around. So I had to get used to that side as well. Because even though I was from Liverpool, I wasn't particularly in people's faces.
Yeah. You
push me to a point and I blow, and that's kind of happened with a couple of the scousers because I was just thinking, do me a favour, shut up. They were just a bit OTT for me, do you know what I mean? And it just came to a point where you just thought, well, I'm not going to have any more of this. So I'll just tell them, you know, and whatever it will be. But Jim Steele, Chrissy Malkin, Higgy, who's doing a commentary I listen to when I'm watching on my little dodgy box, Higgy, doing a commentary for Tranny, Eric Nixon, Nolo, you know, Mogsy, flipping some class players because they're always at the top of the championship.
I was actually a ball boy because the Shaftesbury Boys Club,
right next to it, wasn't it?
Do the ball boys,
for
years, not even the academy lads, it was always the Shaftesbury Boys Club, and I was the ball boy around.
They were the class. I mean, I remember for the Friday night footy, they used to batter everyone, and it was bouncing.
We used to get the buses from Liverpool, so the Liverpool fans would come over. Wasn't it?
And I just remember, because I think they missed out, didn't they? In like 3 out of 4 years, they missed out by a goal or a point or a win to go up into the top league. But they were just brilliant players.
Who's the manager then, John? Was it Johnny King?
It was Johnny King, yeah.
How did you find Johnny?
He was all right. He liked his favourites. Quite hard getting into the first team because no matter how well they played or how badly some of them played, he always played the same team. But he was the manager, he could do that. But I found that, you know, he liked to come out with his little sayings, you know, like a bit like Bill Shankly. But he gave me my first contract, so I didn't have a negative thing to say about it.
So how long were you at Tranmere now for, Greg?
I was there for about 6 or 7 years in the end.
Yeah.
And then before I found out with John Aldridge.
Is that when you left, yeah?
That's why I left, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
How did that come about? Is it just, you don't have to tell us the fallout, how did it come about?
It came about because John Aldridge wants me to sign a 3-year contract, and I went up to see Mr. Corf, who was the chairman at the time, in his office with me dad, and Mr. Corf put a contract offer on the table, and I said no. It wasn't very good at all, and that's not because I was greedy. It's just because it wasn't very good at all. So I said no. So the day after, I got a left home by Danny Coyne, who played for Wales, little goalkeeper. Little goalkeeper was watching this. little goalkeeper. I don't think Danny Coyne was 6 foot tall. That's why he kept getting lobbed, but that's another story. And he always used to buy the Echo. And he got the Echo and he goes, Franchi, have you seen this? I went, no. And he showed me like full double spread about how I didn't want to play for Tranmere and how I told John Aldridge I didn't want to play for Tranmere. And
wow.
And I was seething. I saw my arse.
Yeah. So
I went to the same news fella and I gave him my side of the story the day after. But I didn't, because I wasn't in that mode at the time. If I was now, the way it would have all gone off big time. Yeah. And I put my side. And it wasn't nice, it wasn't nasty, because John Aldridge pulled me in the day after. He read it, and he had it on the table in his office. And he goes, I've read this, Branchy, it's not bad, so I'm not going to fine you. And I went, well, I don't care if you fine me. Yeah. I said, because what you've put in the paper is a load of crap.
Yeah.
I said, you've lied about me. So telling me that I don't want to play for Tranmere. I said, I've never told you or anyone else I don't want to play for Tranmere, but you've told everyone. And now everyone's giving me stick because they think I don't want to play for Tranmere. So the game, I think there was a game that weekend and I got booed on the pitch.
Wow.
Yeah, literally booed on.
And you're basically just trying to look after yourself.
Exactly. And he came around to me, he goes, don't worry about this contract. You know, you get most of your money, when you're nearly 30. And I went, you might have. Doesn't mean that'll happen to me. So he played me, and I think I picked up a little injury with my meniscus in my left knee. I came back after 10 days, and then he didn't play me, but he was running me every day by myself. I was running from Prenton Park down the A roads, 60 mile an hour A roads to Thornton Huff, which is back past Clatterbridge Hospital.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it's a trek.
Yeah.
And I was doing that there and back. He wouldn't allow me to get in the minibus. I was training by myself. I was in at 9 o'clock, and I was going home at 5 o'clock, but all the lads were going home at 1:30. So in the end, Brendan Baxton, he got involved because it got highlighted to him, what he was doing to me.
Yeah.
So PFA got involved, and he brought in all the lads. He said, you can't be doing what you're doing to him. It's against human rights or whatever. He goes, you need a load of lads to be training with him. So he brought in all the young lads.
How because it's a meniscus injury, why would you be doing road run?
Because basically he had Les Parry under his thumb, and Les Parry wasn't particularly nice to me in certain patches either. And so there was loads going on.
I must have been at some lots of time though, because you've worked hard to get it Tranmere, you've done well when you were there, and then all of a sudden, just because of the contract, all this starts developing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So got treated.
Especially the fans, you must have.
Well, the fans. Who are the fans going to believe? Me or John Aldridge?
Yeah, that's it.
He could say anything about me, and the fans would believe it, and the fans did. Yeah. So it's just a shame that I'm not now. Then.
Yeah. Because
I wouldn't allow him to get away with that as much as he did, and he got away with it a lot. And situations like that have made me as tough as I am now.
Yeah.
Because why should people lie about you and put you through that? So I remember Christmas time we used to hire out the Continental in Liverpool.
The
Conti.
Yeah.
For our Christmas dues, and he came up to me. I think I was speaking to maybe Nolo. You know, a fancy dress it was. I don't know what I was dressing at the time, so don't ask me. It was probably something stupid like. And he came up to me with Les Parry, and he said, "Branch, can I have a word?" I went, "Yeah." I don't think I'd spoken to him for like weeks and weeks and weeks, which was fine by me. And he goes, "We've got to start playing, you know." I went, "Oh yeah," just like that.
Yeah.
And he goes, "So I think because he had a few injuries at the time." And I think I played a few games, and then I think I told him earlier on that season that I didn't really want to play for him because I didn't respect him because he lied about me. So in the end, I went.
So where did you go to then?
I went from the frying pan to the fire.
Yeah.
Gary Megson. Oh my God. Jesus crumbs, what an absolute beauty he is. Stockport. I was going to sign for Bournemouth, but I had a little boy at the time. So I wanted to stay quite local because I think my little boy, I think he was 1, I think. He was really nice, so I thought I'll stay up here. I think I lasted, how long did I last with Gary Megson? Bristol City, and then I had a fight with him, literally. Because he was just a pure bully to everyone. And I remember we drew 0-0, I missed a header from about 15 yards out, and he called me something really derogatory, which I'm not going to repeat, and I told him to F off. Wow. And then he had Mickey Phelan was his number 2, the Man United legend, little Mickey Phelan. He was brilliant, Mickey. And Gary Megson took a couple of steps towards me, and I was stood. And this was in the dressing room at the end. And I had Paul Cookie, the old Wigan manager, and he was saying, "Branchy, sit down." I was going. He said, "He is just a bully." He said, "Everyone's scared to train because he slags everyone off." And he goes, "If you don't sit down, you don't show up, I'm going to put you on a transfer list." I said, "Do it." I said, "I ain't playing for you." I said, "You're just a bully." I said, "You're a nasty piece of work." And on Monday, I got put on a transfer list. And all the lads in the shower go, "Well done, Branchy." We wanted to say all that. I was like, "Where do you say it all then?" So a couple of weeks later, I left.
Wow.
Best thing I ever did.
That's strange. Sorry. That's strange, that though, you know, because I think people's skills as managers, you know...
It's old school though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
it's different now.
Old school, it's still just that bond. If you want to get the best out of someone...
You think so, wouldn't you?
You got to speak to them in the right way, aren't you?
You think so? I mean, I know the footballing then was very, very different. There's a lot of stuff that you'd get away with then, you wouldn't get away with now.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff. You know, some of the tackles that were thrown in Valley Road were leg breakers.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get away with that now. You know, the way that managers and players spoke to each other. You know, there'd be fights. There was fights all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of that stuff wouldn't happen now. You know, and that's why potentially when you've played in that era and you're watching some of these footballers dive and you haven't been touched, you're scratching your head going,
it's got too much.
Do me a favour. It's gone the other way.
Yeah.
And you know, it does make you tough. Situations make you tough. But I found it hard because I went from an environment where I was kind of just normal, getting on with my own stuff, to having to protect myself.
Yeah.
And that's a hard.
Did that affect your game?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what people don't realise is when I finally started getting into the first team, because people were going, oh, this great player who plays for reserves, beating. You know, we used to play against Liverpool, Everton. I was playing against, you know, all the first teamers, Liverpool, and I was doing really well against them, but I couldn't transfer that into a first team, so I was getting stick because I let nerves get the hold of me, because I was struggling in front of crowds. And Thursday, Friday, I was getting really, really nervous. By the time Saturday came, I had no energy because it was all burnt.
Yeah.
So I was seeing a sports psychiatrist to try and get into my head to try and sort this situation out. No one knows about that.
Did it help?
A little bit. But I just found that he was just delving.
What was the actual feeling? Going over the line and then the crowd?
It was a bit like panic, and I was virtually trembling.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally Thursday, probably about Thursday, and then people saying he's lazy. I'd make 2 runs. I was done. I had no energy.
It just zapped you.
Yeah, but people were saying I was lazy, and then I think there was one time, and I think it was either my mum and my dad. It's probably my dad because he was the football one, and I said to my dad, I'm struggling here. He goes, you know, I've made, you know, my dream come true. I said, I'm really struggling. He goes, well, you've got 2 choices. You either sort it out or you go and find another job.
Yeah.
So then my football started becoming good. And then I started proving to people what I could do. And that's when John Aldridge wanted me to sign the 3-year contract. And then obviously that happened. So it's not an easy environment. And that's why I kind of look at some of these kids now. And I wish I had what they got, because they just go into a new environment, they just brush it off. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the best, and I'm going to show you. It'd be great to have that, but I didn't have that.
I think that's installed into kids from 6 years of age now, to live the dream, and you know, you can plan about that. Even at Liverpool and at Everton, you're on the LFC TV when you're 16, aren't you? You're under the spotlight.
You're not scared of that environment, are you? It doesn't intimidate you.
Yeah.
People don't intimidate you, and they're tougher. Some of these kids now, and they go into that environment and they just own it, don't they?
I always remember Steve Ivey actually saying, he said we can train a kid, we can coach a kid to go out and play football and do a job and do the role and responsibility, but we can't, once they cross the line,
it's them, isn't it?
Every other factor of walking down a tunnel, that's up here, that's up to the kid.
It is, and it's a big thing, isn't it? I mean, because like you, there's a girl in particular I coach, and she's just signed for Liverpool under 21s. Now, when she's training, she loves training, but she said she's found it really, really, and she's a super talented girl, and I mean really talented. When she says when she goes and plays games, she just folds. So trying to get into her head, because I've done it.
And you've done that, yeah.
So I now can give her a bit more experience. So, well, this is what I tried, and I know it's hard, but you're right. You can coach the technical, but that's the hard bit sometimes, and that's the part I found hard.
So you're at Stockport, mate, and obviously that happened, and you're looking for a move. So where did you go then?
Well, I was playing in a reserve game, and I scored a couple of goals, and Cliff Roberts, the Scouse, the Fox he was called, and Stan Tennant came to watch, thank God, and because I didn't want to be at Stockport at all. And I think I got called in, wouldn't have been by Gary Megson, because I wouldn't have spoken to him. There's someone else. So at Burnley, and I knew Burnley were a huge club, But there was a weird rivalry between Stockport. I remember someone messaged me going, "Oh, you going to a rival or something?" I was thinking, "Oh, Burnley a rival to Stockport," but I didn't get that. So I went, and this was around Christmas, because I think it was Christmas. It might have been Christmas Eve. I went up to Turf Moor, met the gaffer, Stan Tennant, and he showed me around Turf Moor, and I was like, "My God, this is huge, massive stadium." And then the history of it.
It's quite an intimidating place, Turf Moor, because I've been with Liverpool.
It is intimidating. Very true, yeah. They're a bit fanatical up there, Ollie. That's the reason why I lived down here.
Yeah.
Couldn't live up in Burnley because your life's not your own, and there.
I remember going in on the coach. There's a big house painted more like to Sean Dyche, saying we've got the Ginger Mourinho.
Yeah. Well, they've got they've named the pub after him, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which I was in there before lockdown doing a Q&A. So but they're fanatical up there, like proper fanatical. So I think a couple of days later in New Year we played Walsall 0-0 and I played. That was my first game.
So, what league were they in then? They
were in the second, struggling. They got promoted the year after, so went into the old the championship, the old first. But Stan was very honest with me. He goes, "The team's a load of, but I'm going to get it sorted." And I just liked his honesty.
Yeah.
And he brought in Mickey Mellon, Fruity, who was the old Tranmere manager.
Yeah.
He's obviously at Dundee United. And he was my roommate for a good couple of years. Mickey, he's off his head. And Steve Davis from Luton, who was an old Burnley lad. He played in the Premier League easy, Steve Davis. So he brought in some really good players, and we got up. I think we just about missed. We got up, and then we got promoted with Wrighty, Ian Wright, Arsenal ledge. And that was a flipping brilliant season. So,
what kind of crowds were you playing in front of there, Greg?
I think there were about 10,000. I think.
Yeah.
Then when we were getting promoted, they were we're talking 15,000, 16,000, which were really big. I think towards the end when we were getting close to promotion, there were nearly full houses.
Did you start enjoying it with getting over your fear then?
Yeah, I think I got over my fear to kind of with Tranmere towards the end.
Yeah.
I just kind of sort of just clicked and I just started.
Do you enjoy my
I did.
Then, yeah?
Burnley I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed Tranmere. There's aspects of Tranmere I didn't enjoy. Some of the gobby scousers.
Yeah.
Who weren't particularly nice. And obviously the scenario with John Aldridge wasn't particularly pleasant either. But towards the end of Tranmere, I was starting to really enjoy my football. I had a really good pre-season and a couple of good games for Tranmere. And what Burnley, I would probably say as a whole, was definitely my happiest time in football.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad I had a happy time. Because you don't want to be retiring and not having a happy time as football, because you look back at it and think, best job in the world, but was I happy?
Yeah.
But Burnley, I was very happy indeed.
So what were the things you were doing in training sessions and stuff like that?
Yeah. Sam Ellis, who went to Middlesbrough, he was number 2 with Pugh, the manager. Was it Pugh? Might have been. He was the manager. I don't know. He was manager of Middlesbrough before he got sacked. Someone got sacked recently, and there was someone before him. But I know Sam was with him because when Lenny John Rose, we did a thing at Bamber Bridge because Lenny's got. He's got, I forget what he's got, and he's dying from it, Lenny John Rose. So we did a big thing for him.
Yeah.
And Sambo was at Middlesbrough at the time. He was kind of the coach who did a lot of stuff. Again, it was quite kind of old school. I mean, I think my sessions I do with the 5-year-olds are better than what he was doing with us. But we're at a place called Gorthorpe, which was just pure mud. Because it was like in a big field, a stunning location. But now, obviously, Burnley have spent millions on that, and they've got the same place. It's phenomenal.
It's meant to be amazing.
It's a phenomenal place now, and we had the same place. Because they've obviously spent a bit more money on it being in the Premier League. But it was just, they were just like one big family.
Yeah.
Everyone worked for everyone. There was no egos, even though there's some talented players. Wow, really talented players. I mean, some of the players would get into the Burnley team now. But because we just got on so well, the banter was brilliant. We went away. It was just like a big family.
Togetherness.
It's just, honestly, we had some proper funny characters. Stan was a bit of a loon, and he'd fall out with everyone every day, but he was cool.
Yeah.
And it was just brilliant. Best years of my life, definitely, football-wise.
What's it like being a professional footballer for some of the kids out there, Graham? When you're going in, you're training every day, any advice? My
advice is don't give up on your dream.
Yeah.
but that comes with kind of conditions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know as well, the conditions are, it is very, very tough being a professional footballer.
I think just touching on that, Gray, I think it's not just having the dream, you've got to have the setbacks as well.
Big time.
And I think people forget that. They just think, got the dream and I'm going to go straight there. Well, it doesn't happen like that. You're going to have setbacks.
It's a bendy road, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
You know, it's very, it's an up and down road, and I think, I was quite lucky that I always wanted to be a footballer, and I got my chance with Tranmere. I'll always be, grateful for that opportunity. I think as a young kid, and a lot of young kids I coach, that's their dream. And it's great having dreams, because some kids use that dream to propel them. Well, I desperately want to be there, so I'll work to get there. But what they've got to understand is that it is a very rocky road.
Yeah.
You will get your knockbacks. Sometimes knockbacks are good, because that will either make you try harder, or it'll, unfortunately, you go and find another job. Yeah. And you know yourself that you need to be very determined and single-minded to fulfill your dream. Everyone wants to be a footballer. The girls now is massive.
Yeah.
I coach of some mega talented girls. They want to be footballers. Boys want to be footballers. And I never left my dream. It was always my dream since I remember I could think for myself properly, 4 or 5 years old. I mean, my dad said wherever I went, I always had a ball at my feet. Everywhere I went, I had a ball at my feet. And I'm one of the lucky ones, but I also know that you have to be very lucky, not just to be spotted, because if you're good enough, you'll get spotted.
Yeah.
Because of the scouting systems around here, the Wirral is a hotbed for football. But you have to have the body to be able to run. You have to be able to have the determination that's built in you.
Yeah.
And you need to have the concentration and discipline to practice.
Yeah.
That's where your luck comes in, isn't it?
And a bit of inner belief.
Exactly.
Well. Yeah,
and that's where your luck comes in.
Yeah.
If you're born lucky enough to have that in you.
Definitely.
And if you haven't got it, you're not going to do it.
That's a great bit of advice. That I totally agree with everything you said there, mate. So you were a defensive centre mid, weren't you, Greg?
I played, when I signed for Tranmere, I played left wing. I might have played a couple of games up front, but they had some good centre forwards then. Chrissy Malkin, Jimmy Steele, Ian Muir. Wow,
player.
Class.
Yeah.
Obviously John Aldridge. But when I went to Burnley, I was wing, centre mid, centre forward, right wing, left back, centre half.
Utility man.
And I was nearly in goal on Sky. We beat Wolves at Molineux 1-0 Friday night, and the beast Brian Jensen, who was at Shrewsbury now with Steve Cottrell, I think. He was in goal. He got injured, and I was next to go in goal. I think it was the only position I never played.
Wow.
But I was captain for Burnley, and I played centre half with Maisie, David May from Man United. Yeah. And that was a big honour as well to be captain.
Did you think playing with him? Did you think you'd go on to play for Man United?
I was glad that he played for Man United, because he was very, very, very good.
Yeah.
He wasn't one of these big shouters. He led by example. But I've been quite lucky to play with a lot. I played with Gazza, Paul Gascoigne, who was my idol.
Did you play with Gazza?
Burnley.
Burnley?
Yeah, he came for about a month.
Wow.
I played with Ian Wright. I got on really well with Wrighty. He was off.
You must have a Gazza story then.
I do. The first day. I got asked, I did an interview last week about Gazza, because I think it was an anniversary of when he came. And I think I might have been injured this time, and I was coming in early from West Kirby to Gawthorpe, and it was dead dingy then, Gawthorpe, but it was good. And I remember walking in to get dressed to go and do some rehab, and there was Gazza in the corner, just sat there I don't know if he was on his phone or he was just in the corner by himself. There was no one else in there, and he was my idol, Gazza, because when we used to go to Magaluf with Tranny, we used to do that every year. And in the little clubs, they used to have like little TVs, and all the lads were all getting up to whatever they're getting up to. And sometimes I used to sit down there, half cut, half drunk, watching, and it was always Gazza videos just on replay all the time. And I was thinking, wow, what a player he is.
Yeah.
I mean, what a player. And then I got the chance to meet him, and I don't think we knew, because with Wrighty, we knew he was coming. Because we were going from emotion, and we took a little bit of a dip, and he gave us a lift because he was off his head, right? He was off his head. But when I walked in, he went, "All right, Branchy." I went, "All right, Gazza." I was like, "All right, Gazza," my idol. And he went, how you doing? I said, yeah, I'm brilliant, mate. I've just come in for a bit of rehab, and I hope you're okay. He goes, yeah, I'm fine. So the lads started coming in then. And we used to have this massive metal teapot. We did all the cups of tea. It's like 20 tea bags in it. It was huge.
Yeah.
And I sat down, started getting half change, and there was cups there, and he went, Branchie, do you want a cup of tea? I went, I'm all right at the moment, because I think I might have had someone on the way over, so I was thankfully, I was okay. So he asked me again, I thought, there's something going on here. So I said, oh, I'm all right, mate, honestly, I'm all right. I went and made myself a coffee in the kitchen that was just off outside. Yeah. And so he was giving tea to all the lads. He put laxatives in the kettle, didn't he? So thank God.
This is his first day.
This is his first day. So thank God I hadn't drank any of the tea, but he'd laced it with laxatives. So I was laughing my head off, but he was cool. He was, you know, it was a shame kind of where he was at the time. You know, he wasn't the Gazza.
Yeah.
You know, and you can only imagine what his life was like.
He showed glimpses in training.
Yeah, he did. He was just a great guy to have around, and people were listening to his stories, and he was, you know, being silly and cool, and it was just, you know, just having a laugh.
Must have been a buzz going into training.
But yeah, he was. I mean, I'll take that to me dying, to me last breath. You know, I had a chance to play with Wrighty, and I had a chance to play with Gazza, and not many people can say that really. So. And
there's something to say. That's fantastic.
It is, mate. Yeah, and Stan Tennant, he was good at. He was just good at just. I didn't realise he knew Gazza. But supposedly he got on the phone to Gazza, said, "Do you fancy coming to our place?" And Gazza went, "Yeah." So it was cool. But Wrighty had more of an effect on us.
What a story Wrighty is.
He was. You know when you see him playing, he's dead fast, dead explosive, and he's dead springy.
Yeah.
He'd walk in. He had this massive gob of teeth. And he was dead smiley. And I used to call everyone son. All right, son. And he'd come in and go, all right, sons. And he'd bounce in.
Yeah.
He was always on his tiptoes. And he was just dead springy, and he was off his head.
Full of life.
He was just proper full of life, and he scored a few good goals. And I remember when we got promoted, we had to do circles around Burnley because we couldn't get rid of all the fans. Because we had like 1,000 fans after us in the cars. We pulled into the car park. And Wrighty tried to get off the coach. Oh, he got ragged a bit because we still had our Burnley tops on. Yeah. And he got ragged, and we did like 6 lads had to try and drag him back on the coach because they were just trying to kill him, trying to get his Burnley top off him. And that he was like, it was mad, but he was cool. Wrighty was cool. It's good stories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell your kids and that. So.
Yeah. So training then at the club, you're going in every day training. What was the standard like? Was it?
Standard was really, really good. Surprisingly good. Yeah, Steve Davis, he played in the Premier League now. I mean, one of his goals, I think he got it from the goalie and he beat everyone he scored. It shows, I think they did it for Luton. Glenn Little, one of the funniest guys I'll ever, he was an absolute nut job. He was one of these guys who was funny that didn't know, and he had the lads on the floor in stitches. He's Cockney. He never stopped bloody talking. Never stopped talking at all. He reminded me of, I know it's a big statement, Georgie Best. Yeah. You know, the way he cut the ball. Yeah. You know, and he was phenomenal. It was riddled. Ian Cox came from Bournemouth, centre half. He was just class. You know, Pates played for Celtic. You know, and Hull when they were one of the top leagues. He was a goal scoring machine. Pates, who I do Q&A with. Up in Burnley, and we were doing that loads before lockdown. Probably ended up doing it again, but it was just that's the reason why we went up the leagues, and you know, and we did so well. I think that, and when we got promoted, I think we missed out by a couple of points going up again. So that would have been brilliant. Like, but every time our Premier League team came to Turf Moor, we beat them. We beat Spurs, we beat Aston Villa, I think, and we always beat in the pre-season. We beat Everton a couple of times, which was good. I think we played Liverpool a couple of times. We always had a really good game against them. They're just a really talented load of lads.
I was going to ask about the things like the EFL Cup and the FA Cup you played in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing against, I think I played left back that game, playing against Spurs. I think we beat Spurs. And I remember at Turf Moor, we beat Aston Villa, and Aston Villa were right up there. I scored, I played centre mid. And I remember scoring a header. I think Robbie Blake played it from the left, and I come in late and headed it. And we beat them 2-0. But we always, I don't think there'd be many teams that would have enjoyed coming to Turf Moor. Because at that time we always did really well against them. Yeah. And what I noticed is, and what I would have loved more of, every time we played Premier League teams, you had loads of time on the ball.
Did you? You had more time on the ball?
Way more time on the ball, because no one would tackle you.
Yeah.
Because you see it now in the game. When I watched the Everton game at Goodison Park last week, or the Liverpool game, not many people go flying into a tackle. They stand up, they give you loads of respect. Yeah. So when you're used to getting whacked all over the park, and then someone comes up to you and just doesn't put a tackle in, you go, you're thinking, you're going to put a tackle in or what? I just had loads of time on the ball.
You have to be more effective with the ball, though.
You do, because when you know that when you lose it, they're going to be more effective.
Yeah. And
that's the biggest thing. And you just reminded me of one thing. When we got promoted into the Championship, some of the lads found that hard, that transition, because if you made a mistake anywhere near in your own half, it always resulted in a chance.
Yeah.
Because the quality was better. And a lot of the lads, remember we talked about that, going, flipping heck, this is quite tough, this. Because we lose a ball, it's nearly a goal.
Were the transitions quicker?
Much quicker.
Yeah.
You had to work a lot harder to if you're going there, you had to work a lot harder getting back and trying to get bodies behind the ball. But you become used to that, don't you?
Yeah.
And then the qualities came through. But there's always, as I said, you imagine what it's like in the Premier League, be even harder again. But we always did well.
What did you think when you were on the ball then, when you say you're at that time and space? Are you thinking, wow, should I go with it or should I pass it? Because you've got more time to think.
You have more. You do have more time to think, mate. I mean, it made my football easier, because I don't think I was suited to kind of one bounce and out and just running after the ball.
Yeah.
I didn't see the point in that. And some people call me lazy for that, where you get, remember Adi Akinbaye, Big Addy?
Yeah.
He played at Burnley, flipping out, what a nice lad he was until he crossed that white line, and then you wouldn't mess with him, literally. He'd run 60 yards, Addy. The ball would bounce once and go out, and he'd run after it, and he'd be shouting, Addy, Addy, Addy. But I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I know it's going out, I'm not going to waste my time running after that ball.
Yeah.
So your quality had to be better, but with the more time, your quality could be better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he was giving you more time to think of the better decision and the right decision. So we found that became easier for us, because some of the lads were just so used to getting rid of the ball quite quickly because people were just smashing them all over the place. But a lot of the lads that we had, it really helped them because they had more time, and because they were quality, they could exercise that quality by having more time on the ball.
Was it more tactical as well?
A lot more. Yeah, I mean, Stan always liked to turn them early. So they drop deeper to create a bit more space for people like Robbie Blake or Glenn Little or whoever's playing there. But, it's still a bit of old school there. But sometimes the old school is quite effective because it now adapts so much. Sometimes you take it back to the simplest form, it becomes effective.
But what you always say, the old school, new school, it's still the same playground.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Totally.
It is, isn't it?
It's totally. And I enjoyed playing against better players.
Yeah.
I remember playing against Merson. Because when Portsmouth got promoted, they spent a lot of money one season, and I played against Steve Stone, who played for England, little winger.
Yeah, I remember Steve Stone.
I remember playing against him because I've got a picture in my house with him and Mercer in it. Someone took a photo, and they were good battles, but they always had quality. Do you know what I mean? But again, Steve Stone never really ran at you much. He just pinged the ball into someone and make a move off the ball.
Yeah.
And that becomes very effective because they know what they're doing very well. So But Mason was class when he played as well.
Was he? Yeah.
Very good indeed.
So, we said about any advice to young players, mate, haven't we? So, what was the best game you were ever involved in?
Derby at home at Turf Moor. We won 1-0. Kept us in the league. That was good. I scored against Grant, who's at Man United now, goalie. That was a really important goal at that time.
Did you score many goals, Greg?
I think I only scored 35-ish or something. Yeah. Which I'm quite happy with, actually, because most of the time, especially towards the middle and back, I was playing more defensive. Yeah. Especially at
different positions.
Different positions. Yeah. So it was quite hard, really. And people ask, what was that like playing different positions? It was quite hard because one game I played centre forward, and then he put me centre half. Wow. That was in the same game. Yeah. So it become quite hard. But I'd probably say the one that I remember the most would be Tranmere, Portsmouth, Friday night on Sky. We won 4-3, I scored 2. Wow. And I got goal of the month, where Jeb Brannan gave it to me just outside our own box. and I ran the whole length of the pitch and put it virtually in the top corner-ish. And I got goal of the month. Chris Kamara gave it me, I think.
What did you get for goal of the month?
Just a pat on the back, I think.
Not a bottle of champagne?
No, I was waiting for something. But I remember Chris, because I think Chris Kamara tried to sign me for Bradford when he was manager of Bradford. So I remember Chris. But that was my best goal. And we won. I think John All just scored in the last couple of minutes, 4-3, and he went on a bit of a rant when me and him got interviewed after the game because we didn't put it to bed. Yeah. Which was fair enough at the time. But that's the goal that will always stick in my head. And I should have really pushed on from there.
Yeah.
Because we played Sheffield United at Bramall Lane the week after, and everyone was going, this is your chance now. I think Mark Proctor, who was at Middlesbrough, said, Tranmere should be making you £1 million player. And I just didn't push on from there. Which is a shame.
Were there any clubs after Burnley that you played for?
Yeah, I went to Aki Stanley with John Coleman and Bell. What's his surname? First name. Forget his surname. But they're Kirby lads, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I spent a year there, and I was starting to become a little bit with football. Like, do I really want to be pushing my body? I think I was 36 or 37. I was thinking...
You must have looked after yourself to still play that long.
I did, yeah. I played for 17 years, mate. I was lucky. I didn't start till I was 19. I played for 17 years. I was lucky with injuries, and I never put on weight. And I was always quite strong because I made myself quite strong in the gym. So it helped me towards the back end. But I also think what helped me towards the back end as well is playing different positions. Yeah. Because it can hinder you, but it can also help you as well.
Not doing as much running.
Yeah, but also filling in, because if you can't get in, if you're 37, you can't get into left wing, then maybe you can potentially get into centre half, which I played left back and left wing and centre half as well. So it kind of helps you in that respect as well. But there comes a point, doesn't it, where you just think, am I doing damage to my body?
Yeah.
And we all have to think that way.
Pushing it to the brink.
Yeah, because even at that level, when you're 37, that's tough on your body. It's tough on you. Yeah. If you're 25, I probably would have found that level quite easy. Not 37. There's no way I could have played 2 games a week because it's really tough on the body.
I think with that, people don't think you could play 2 games a week, and then you're playing twice a week and you're training as well, which is a big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you've got the recovery as well.
Exactly. And, the recovery is huge. If you're not getting recovery, you are struggling in that game.
That time space. That's the big difference, isn't it?
I remember having a word with the gaffer at the time, John Coleman, saying, I need a bit more time to recover because I was just training and my body wouldn't allow me to train. So in training, I was trying to recover as much as possible by not doing much in training. So I was trying to work it that way. But some games, I was like, my God, I'm knackered here. But my body's sore. Yeah. So in the end, I left and then I went to Camel Laird's with Youngie, who was at Marine.
Yeah.
And then I went to Colwyn Bay with Youngie and Gary Jones, Big Dunk, we used to call him.
Yeah.
He's at Marine as well. And I saw him on the video when Tottenham played Marine last month. I was like, is that Gary Big Dunk in the back? And he's off his head. So he's obviously still there, I think, doing bits and bobs.
I remember the big game, Colwyn Bay. I remember going to watch v Chester. There was thousands there.
Might have been, yeah. Might have been, yeah.
It was like a pre-season friend.
Might have been, yeah. They had some decent games. It was decent.
Welsh and the English.
Yeah, it was decent standard.
Yeah.
And Youngie, he knows football. Yeah, that's why he's Marine.
Yeah.
And he's a nice lad, Youngie, because he used to have the Queen. Was it the Queens?
I played with him at the Queens.
In Beckenham Park. Yeah. They had massive lines as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And a lot of people watching them. So he knows his football, so I tried to play as long as possible because I knew that if I retired, you always regret it a little bit. Yeah. If you think that you can kind of play 1 game a week.
Why didn't I play that extra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, I just thought, I've got a young boy, now I've got a young girl, so I kick around with her. Thank God I didn't prolong it too much. Because I think my dad played in Liverpool League, which wasn't really football, it was just a fight. Never get out to Sefton Park. My God, it was just like WWE. It was like, whack. You know what I mean? So my dad played till he was like nearly 50.
Wow.
And but he's had a new knee. I didn't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
So I've looked after myself. Still keep myself strong. Still don't put on weight, thank God. So because I want to be able to play with my daughter.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about, isn't it? Playing with your kid.
Definitely, mate.
So
who's the best player ever come up against?
Stone was good. Steve Stone was good. was Steve Stone, wasn't
it?
I played against Poyet, Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
In a pre-season friendly. I tore my Achilles that game actually. And I played against him and he was quality. His first touch was phenomenal. You think you got him and he just passed the ball past you because he just opened his body up and he one touch. It's just very, very hard to get close to someone, and that's the reason why I think so much respect's given, isn't it? Because the touch is so good, it gets him out of trouble. He was class. But I played against Michael Owen at Anfield. He was rapid.
Is that his very early days?
Yeah, and I remember playing against Walcott as well for Southampton.
Yeah, he was quicky as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I actually played against him. Thank bloody hell. I think I came back from another injury, 2 months out, first game back. And
you don't need that.
And I remember I wasn't as fast as I used to be, especially after an injury. I think I was about 30 odd, but I was still quick for my age. My God, he was so quick. He was unbelievable.
Was he one of them knock it and go?
Yeah. I think the second run, and I started getting used to him because he got subbed. I was like, thank God for that. Get off. Because I was getting used to him.
Yeah.
But the second run, he ran at me at speed and he just knocked it. And I thought, well, I'll go half cocked, because I know what he's going to do, and I'll get ready for that run behind me. And no.
Nowhere near.
He was like, see you later.
Were you like towing a caravan?
I was like, about 5 caravans, literally. It was like, I was tugging something.
Yeah.
I was like, how the hell did you stay with him?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been an interesting race when I was 21, 22. But not at that age and not come back from injury. He just literally... But I tackled him once, which I was happy about. But my God, he was so quick. And I was like, wow.
I always look like, when you go to the game, and when you're a coach, you watch it differently, don't you? So
yeah, you do, yeah.
At Liverpool.
You do, yeah.
And you see like Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
The quickest I've seen come to Anfield was Mbappe.
Yeah.
I remember him just
scary,
chasing someone, and he must have had a 15-yard head start, and he got to the ball first.
It's scary, isn't
it? He should be an Olympic sprinter.
Yeah.
It was like literally.
It is. It is a massive tool, isn't it? Because if you think about it, I was quick, but he was quicker. You can't do anything with speed. No. I've always said that. With the people I coach who are quick, you got to work on your technical in case someone's just as quick as you. Then you kind of forget about that. You got to work on beating people with skill or your dribble. But if you're quicker than someone, sometimes just knock it, because you can't defend it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
That's it.
And when I was doing stuff with Ray Mathias, when I was learning how to be a professional footballer, sometimes he'd get me to knock it, sometimes he'd get me to dribble. Because I was remember doing stuff with Ray.
So there'd be a variation.
Yeah, because he knew what we're talking exactly.
Yeah.
So he was class, Ray, to be fair, but it's trying to get now, as you see, trying to instill that in players. They can adapt their game, but my God, there's speed, and some people are just unbelievably quick, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to defend against, isn't it?
Just going back to the one where you said about Ray Mathias, did you have any recording your sessions and that stuff then?
No.
At Tranmere, but did you have that later on to help you, Greg?
No, because thank God when I left Burnley, Steve Cottrell was getting in the kind of the cameras around the pitch.
Yeah. To
see how much distance you'd ran. And I was thinking, thank God, you haven't got me on that. It's like the bottom somewhere. Yeah. And that was just about coming in, and he was getting into people's diets. With Ray, it was just more one-on-one. He helped me a lot, Ray. I've got a lot of respect for that guy. He did a lot of work with me, and him and Stan and Warwick Rimmer, probably the top blokes in football that I respect.
Warwick's a legend, isn't he?
He's top man. I speak to Warwick quite a lot, which is good. But now, when I went down to Solar Campus with Fruity, went down to see him, Mickey Mel, call him Fruity, he was showing me all their kind of shakes they've got, individual shakes, and I was saying to him, don't you wish you would have had this? He goes, it's just a different game now, mate. It's all diets and what they're drinking, and everyone's specific to their needs, and you kind of wish that you were given that opportunity to give yourself another 10%, 15%, because they've got the drones now. He has drones, that video of the game. He goes, he calls me Krusty the Clown. Because every time I woke up in the morning, the air was like this. So he calls me Krusty. And he goes, look at this. He showed me a video, and it was a drone. And it was videoing the training session.
What a great tool.
I know, and I was going, he shouldn't be there. And I was going, I was thinking that now. But it was just like hovering. I was thinking, God, it's just so different now.
Yeah. So that self-reflection where you had to do it by, I think, going through it with Ray, they've got the tools with the cameras.
Makes it a bit easier.
Yeah.
But with Ray, it was every day, so it becomes a bit easier, and it did help me.
Ray must have been a very inventive coach then, mate. Because,
he's brilliant.
Because when you can't watch something back, and you've got to take it all in, that must be brilliant.
Yeah. Ray helped me at Tranmere more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray was one of the nicest. I spoke to someone a couple of weeks ago saying, "Oh, I know Ray. I go out with a drink with Ray." I say, "Pass on my regards." I haven't seen Ray for ages, but he helped me so much. When I first went, my touch was crap because it was amateur football going into professional football. He helped me with my touch, running at people, understanding the game, movement off the ball. Because this is what I all teach my kids now, my girls and the kids. And that's only because of kind of what I've learned from him and other people like Stan and all. But they've got such a massive head start now, the kids. Because I learned it when I was 19, how to make movements off people. But they're learning it at 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So they're well ahead of the curve.
It's great that you're coaching still though, mate, because the coaching's improved, and that's one of the reasons we started the show.
Yeah.
Is for people out there on the Whittle doing great things like yourself. I know there are Danny Holmes on, Kev Thompson, people like that who are still doing great things, and they're all becoming coaches as well. And
so they're lucky, the kids, aren't they? The kids are lucky nowadays because they're getting coached by people who know what they're doing.
It's not just the dad taking the team now. It's people are going on badges, and I think it's a brilliant thing. Not just because, like you said before, you said hotbed, didn't you? The Whittle's a hotbed of talent. And now that coaching, hopefully players can produce and push on and be professional footballers.
Well, I got told last year that there was more coaches over here than there were in Liverpool because of the talent over here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's massive, isn't it? I mean, it's you look everywhere now. There's talented kids. I'm sure there was just as talented kids then, but some of them are going to be better because they're getting taught good stuff earlier.
Yeah.
Whereas we were getting taught by our dads. And no disrespect to our dads, they wanted to kick around with us and stuff, but they weren't teaching us the details, how to run properly with the ball or how to move off people.
Yeah, I definitely get that, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
And the little tips that like people like me, you watch sessions, you watch pro sessions, and you've been in sessions, and all that information that you've gathered, and then you can pass something on. It's massive, and kids don't realise that there was none of that when we were kids.
There wasn't any of that, was there?
If you were pro, you were away.
Yeah, exactly. There was no in between. You were either wanting to be nothing there, or you were a pro.
Yeah.
But now there seems to be that kind of link between the two, and there seems to be a lot of help in that area.
Yeah.
If you want to get there, then we'll help you with the academies, all these new academies coming up and all the other. It is cool, mate. But on the flip side, it makes it harder.
Yeah.
Because now it's just so many more wanting to get there.
Yeah.
Because they know that they're getting there.
So many people working hard.
Exactly.
So it opens more chances for more people.
It's hard, It is hard, mate. But
it is a fine line, mate.
If you fulfil your dream, you're just lucky, full stop. And people just got to kind of appreciate that, haven't you?
Any regrets, Graham?
Yeah. I wish I would have known now what I knew then. I wish I would have known then what I knew now in regards to my knowledge. I think with what I had in certain parts of my football, I should have played higher. I should have tried a little bit harder. I shouldn't have let people get at me so much.
Yeah.
Some of the scouts, as we were talking about before. I wish I was as tough now then than I am now in regards to I won't let anyone talk to me like crap now. Yeah. I won't let anyone be nasty to me for no reason, whereas I let it go then.
Yeah.
I think that would have helped me not feel kind of in that pressurised environment and not so nervous. Because if I would have been like a tough scouser or been 19 still living in Liverpool, coming out being a tough scouser, I would have turned around to someone like Ainsley, when I would have gone, shut up or I'll punch you.
Yeah.
And people like that don't like that because, there was a lot of bullying going on in them days.
Yeah.
And you either stand up to it, which I didn't at the time, or you let it affect you, and I unfortunately allowed it to affect me probably a bit too much. But that's individuals and probably managers as well. I would have liked to have said.
There's a lot to take out of that, mate, because confidence is a big thing, and for a player, huge, massively. So if people are getting out, and there's banter flies on in football, doesn't it? And
some of it's quite nasty, though, isn't it?
It is, but I think where we live, people are sharp, aren't they? So they can get at you, or they can say something to you, but it should never cross that line, should it?
No, and I think that's old school football.
Yeah.
Because you look at all the stuff that goes on with old school football. All the bad stuff. Maybe not so much bullying's talked about. We're talking about all the the weirdos with the kids.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of bullying going on. A lot of bullying going on. Even when I went to Burnley, there was a little bit of that going on. And if you go into that environment, you have to be tough.
Yeah.
Because if you're not tough, you've got to suffer for it. And I did.
Yeah.
And and I am now. I'm a totally different animal because of what happened then. It toughens you up. And people don't think it's not just about your feet. You've got to be able to appreciate the environment you're going in, because everyone wants your shirt.
Yeah.
Everyone wants shirt.
It's a tough environment.
And they'll do anything. They're not bothered if you break a leg.
Yeah.
They'll go, "Oh, you're all right, mate." They're not bothered.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, because they all want your shirt. So a lot of people don't appreciate just how tough an environment it is. They think, "Oh, professional footballer, travelling the best hotels, big fancy cars, big house." It's a tough environment.
Yeah. So, mate, what do you see happening in the future for Graham Branch? I know you've been here doing a bit Burnley, haven't you, on the side with the headset and stuff like that?
I've enjoyed that. I'm enjoying going to watch games. It's weird seeing that from a coaching kind of perspective now, but I enjoy the atmosphere. And
when you're a coach, you watch the game different now?
Totally different. It's mad.
Isn't it?
It's mad. It really is. I mean, I watch the footy now and I pause.
Yeah. Why is
his body angle's wrong. He's too wide. So he should be showing him down the line. It's weird. And the girlfriend's going, "Oh, do me a favour, just play it."
What's the game?
So you do, yeah. But I don't know. I just want to carry on coaching the kids for as long as possible. I get so much enjoyment out of that. Making sure I can help as many people as possible, and trying to give advice and experience, because we've all got experience, haven't we? And sometimes the experience is just as important as what you do in a drill.
You said before with that girl that was brilliant. Yeah. Something you've been through yourself.
Yeah. I think hopefully that'll help her. She's a super talented girl, but it's just nice just to help people.
Yeah.
Because I've been lucky enough to fulfil my dream. You'll always have regrets.
Yeah.
But sitting here now, knowing what I've done and feeling happy with what I've done, kids are cool. I love coaching kids because they're all your mates. Most of them want to learn, especially with the girls. They're very super concentrated, and when you see them improving in whatever aspect they are, school team or footy team or academy, then they really appreciate it, which is good.
I always say with that one, Gray, I get like an inner glow with that. If I help
big time,
and it's like when you've cracked something
big time.
You've got it, and you do it, and you see it in a game.
You see a little smile on the face.
Brilliant, mate. Yeah.
So there's no better. Because I didn't want to go back into football after I left football, because I didn't have the passion for it, because of the way the football kind of ended a little bit.
Yeah.
But when I started doing sessions, I started getting the buzz back, and that's only down to the children.
Yeah.
When the mate and they say, "All right, coach," when you're walking in West Kirby where I live, and they go, "All right, coach," and that you're helping people, and even the people that you find hard to help. As long as you can help them a little bit down the right path, and it's just a nice feeling, isn't it? Just helping people.
Would you ever go into management? Or no.
Speaking to Fruity, and I said, "Bloody hell, mate!" He said, "You're aging. You look old. So you want to lose that belly as well. He's got a big belly on him, I said, it's stressful, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
He goes, "It is, yeah." And obviously he's at Dundee, and he doesn't look too bad now, and he's closer to the family. But you see some of these managers, like Solskjaer or Mourinho.
Yeah. Just
like someone's just gone, sucked all the life out of them. It's too stressful. I don't need that stress.
Yeah.
I had stress for 17 years, and it'd have to be a really good offer. It'd have to be an amazing offer, because I just enjoy what I'm doing so much.
But some coaching job or coaching role?
No. I spoke to Clint Hill, who lives just up the road. He's with Joey Barton at Bristol Rovers, isn't he? Yeah. And he wants to go into, he's coach, he's number 2, he wants to go into his own. I said, and he goes, "You fancy doing something like that, man?" I went, "No, just got no inkling at all." Because I missed the banter.
Yeah.
Because football's full of banter.
That everyday
thing. Yeah. But now I'm out of it. I've got everything I need. I've got everything in my life.
That though, there becomes many steps. It's all right having the crack, but then there's the sessions, there's dropping.
It'd be great not to have. You wouldn't have so much pressure, would you? Be number 2. Because the manager has the pressure.
Yeah.
He gets the sack, and honestly,
he's doing all the hiring,
and worst case scenario, you get paid off.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing, you know, especially the money in football.
But in it then?
Like, you get one, you bring me on. Be like Youngie and Big Dunk. Sport. Yeah. It's I've got everything I need. I'm very content with life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want for anything.
That's brilliant, mate. That you're in a happy place. Yeah.
Yeah, really happy place.
That's it. Well, that's the final whistle, mate. Thanks very much for coming on. Really enjoyed it.
It was about 90 minutes that as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great.
No, I enjoy it. It's just if anyone can get anything out of it, then they use it, don't
that's what it's all about, mate. And for the people on Whittle who are doing great things.
It's a good thing you're doing. Good thing.
Thanks very much, mate. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
No worries at all, mate.
Right, this is the bit I hate, talking about please subscribe, please get us on YouTube, please make sure that you hit the like button, okay? We're on Facebook and Insta. Thanks to Graham for coming on, and I'll see you on the next show. Thank you very much. See you soon.